Hello, hello. If anybody can hear me, make sure you let me know in the chat. Just to make sure. Anybody? Hi, this is Kimberly from Are You Awakening? And I am here to work on some artwork that is coming through from a Reptilian. And I'm going to be using Rebelle today. And Rebelle is a software created in Eastern Europe, and it is a watercolor software. So it works with Photoshop and all alone, and it's quite a little hog of a program, but we're going to expect that everything works out perfectly today. So I'm going to leave a little chat here to make sure everybody can hear me. Da, 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 da. Can you hear me? Okay. We're going to assume that you can. And so I am going to get involved with this entity, and then we can talk. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Astro Bartender. Hi. 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 Okay. Give me a minute here. I'm going to go within. He's been here with me all day, and so it shouldn't be too hard. And don't be surprised if there's weird noises or there's hand things going on. I don't know. It's good practice for all of us here. Okay. Okay. There's going to be a little swaying here because this is a pretty powerful guy. He hits you right in the solar plexus, so it's kind of as if you ate a bunch of cement and you're hungry at the same time. That's kind of what it feels like. So I'm being told that this one is going to be test, just to make sure that my hands kind of know how to move. So let me just explain real fast what's going on with Rebelle. Up here we have watercolors, we have acrylic paint, we have pastel, we have pencil, we have weird ink, we have markers, and we have basically a spray can. And then I can erase whatever I want to erase. So generally I use watercolor. And this uses layers just like Photoshop does. Whee! Layers. And we're going to wet the paper. And so up here we're going to wet this layer. And let it sit a second, and then we are getting browns and blacks. Okay, we're gonna do a mop. Now this is a big canvas. It's 16 inches by 12 inches, and so I'm doing these because it would only make sense to do that so that I can create it as a print in the future. Since it's digital, I mean, you know, you never know if someone wants a reptilian drawing on their wall. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. It's such a big one that it doesn't let me back up a whole lot, which is fine, because honestly, what do we want that for? Now over here, it seems that all the art I've been channeling has been very drippy. And what this is this is the dripper. So here we go. I put it over at this angle. I'm going to wet this again a little bit. And we're dripping. Now I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let this guy go. That's the dry to stop it from dripping. And we're going to make a new layer. It's red. I'm gonna load up the brush a little more. And literally I'm closing my eyes, so make it small. It's very small. When I get this going, I'm gonna talk a little more, but I'm letting the hand get used to this for now, because it really wants me to draw with my left hand, and I can. I've become ambidextrous, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try with the right hand first. Okay, we're doing an autosave. I'm going to add a little water because this is going up. Huh? Okay, so here's what I'm getting. This being is a keeper of the tree, and you can read more about them. Vashta has channeled them and drawn them, and although just like humans, that's not it, just like humans, they've got varying appearances. We got a new layer. The one that I have been in contact with, we have had, that's water, we have had a contract for a while. And what that means is, as a team, we have planned to make art together. Now this, my hand's moving and I'm not moving it, just so you know. So it's very strange to have I'm sorry, but that looks really sexual. I'm just saying. I'm really just saying. Okay. We're going to change that drip. So what we've planned is to create art through channeling. And this wasn't really supposed to come into play, really play, not work, until Earth got a little bit closer to accepting diversity, which we have. Don't read the news. They'll lie to you. Just kidding. This is very small stuff that's going on. There's something big coming up. These are little tiny things, but there's something big, like big swoops of arm movements, and I don't really know how that's going to work. So this person is a native of Mars. They do have corporeal bodies. They do still live on Mars. I've seen images of, hi Deborah, I see images of where they live. There's lots of lava tunnels on Mars, and we can, I mean, that's not a secret. There's plenty of information that there's plenty of humans living there as well. Although these gentlemen do not live in lava tunnels, they are familiar with them. We're going to close that one. Bam. All right, the left hand's coming up soon. And one more layer. So we've got a left hand. Oh, I see. Okay. So here I'm getting something very holographic, and it's very challenging to see it holographically and then try and put it on paper in as close to a three-dimensional nature as I can. So, and now I'm using my left hand, so seriously, I'm not quite sure where this is going to go. The color is right. The size is right. Yee! It's not. Okay, wait. It goes down here. It's going to go behind this thing. Okay, so let me tell you what this feels like while we're doing this. I can feel the connection. The occipital nerve on the back of my neck. And that's right here. It goes down the back of your neck. So if you ever feel, oh, that looks like blood. If you ever feel that tingling, it is a very common connection. Huh. Now now we've got spines. I'm going to cut the drip for a minute here. So these keepers of the tree, they have stockades of plants and seeds that they basically saved, kind of like Noah's Ark thing going on. And they're in storage in Mars. Now I've had lifetimes on Mars, so I was there before we blew the shit up. And anybody who knows me knows that I love plants, and I spend an enormous amount of time with trees. And in doing so, I didn't know that I had any of these connections until, well, about a decade ago. This guy, who I really don't have an exact name for, is a healer with respect to plants too. So not only does he save the seeds, but should there be sick plants, something like that, he's the doctor. And we got to be careful not to judge anybody's, yeah. It looks really sexual, people. I'm just saying. And yes, they do have that apparatus. And yes, they are relatively humanoid. So if you want to click on Vashta's link down in the description, you can see what that looks like. He is depicted in her art as brown, but for me it's a blue-green. It's sort of like a peacock blue-green, and it's gorgeous. They do have kind of chameleon-like qualities. Okay, we're changing color, but we're working on the spine. I'm going back to the right hand for a sec. So they do have humanoid bodies, and we've got something going on with the reptilians in that, you know, on Earth right now, people are terrified. They're hearing horrible things about them. They eat children, all of those things. Well, I'm sure if you look hard enough, you can find humans that embody such traits as well, but I don't eat humans, and so it doesn't necessarily apply to the entire race. Just saying. So although I have encountered some negative ones, that's only because I invited them in, and my belief systems were such that I felt as if I could be controlled by them, which I no longer feel. So once that happened, it was quite easy to allow in the benevolent ones, right? After you realize they're not all so scary. So, that one's wrong. Feel free to ask questions, you guys. I need to make sure I check my chat. This whole live thing has been quite the challenge for me. All the software didn't work. I lost videos, and so there was some ridiculous fear in me that precluded me from going live. Okay. There's something coming up behind all of this. If I make sounds, I'm not possessed. It's just, I can see the image. I can hear words, but they're not English. They sound very guttural. and they sound, I'm going to smudge a little bit this guy here. They sound insect-like as well. It's very like that. So if you've seen my Orion healing ceremony, it's very similar to that in that, I don't know, I might sound like a Klingon. I haven't spoken Klingon in a while. Okay. Okay, layer 5. So here, we're going to wet this guy, and it's going to be big. What does big mean? I only have, this is the, whoops, go to the largest brush I have, friend. We are here on Earth with limited media for now. We're going to lower the amount of paint on there, and there's going to be something. It's bigger than that. Okay. Something's wrong. Nope. Try it again. He's telling me I'm not making big enough sweeps. So this seems like it's going to go down in transparency. So I'm just going to fuck it, right? Let's just do it. The human eye wants to like make everything perfect, and I'm being told that I'm not drawing via human eyes. So put more paint on. He didn't like it. Back. It's the wrong color. There. Better. Water. It's supposed to be, there we go. Alright, now I get it. Alright, so now we're spreading a little bit, and that's more kind of what he was looking for. It's very ribbed underneath, and I don't know if I'm drawing something that is real for them, a physical thing, or if he's just making something abstract, and generally that comes back to me later. Okay, 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 okay. I get it. This is rib 2. Jeez. All right. Pencil? No. No pencil. I'm not allowed to use pencil. Whew. Looks like a bone. Looks like an X-ray. Good to know they have bones, right? Or maybe it's somebody else's bones. I don't know. Or maybe I am completely 100% wrong in labeling it and I should shut up and let the art create itself. Okay. So here it finishes. You might hear my computer. That's wrong. You might hear my computer. It's like going haywire. There's a lot of memory being used right now. Okay, dry. Whew. And so during this time, I'm going to erase a tiny bit of this. During this time, these years that I have been I've been in contact with our friend from Mars. He's been very helpful in helping me take care of my plants. So that is not it. I keep doing the wrong thing. So when my tree is sick, I get all sorts of information about how to fix it. Like it needs nitrogen. And of course I go and look it up and put some coffee on my tree. And lo and behold, it comes back. So, okay, we got more. We're going to add one more layer. The whole thing has a background. It really does take a different kind of eye, huh? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. We're going to take 1 second here and let it come through. Okay. It does look sexual to me, but apparently it is not. It is the shoot of a plant. So, okay. If you could hear what's going on in my head, it's amazing. So now, apparently, there are hybrids between plants and sentient beings. And so we do, well, maybe not sentient on Earth, but we do have something that is both a plant and an animal in scientific terms, and that's a hydra. They're really cool looking. If you ever have a chance to go look one up, they're wild. So if you cut a hydra in half, it grows back the other half, and just now you have two hydras that look exactly alike. And if you clone them, you cut a leg off, and as long as you have part of the head, it just grows back, and you can make hydra after hydra. So here's what I'm getting here from this guy is that we need brown, is that there are species that share those qualities. So you've got a biological aspect where you have a living mechanism, much like a, with blood running through it and some kind of power that's making it continue on, much like we have a heart. And there, oh, yeah. And it also uses some sort of photosynthesis. So it's kind of plant animal. Now, I am not getting that this is actually the actual representation for it. It's a little bit, this definitely is the shoot. This definitely does recognize some sort of spine or bone structure. And right now, because I have not channeled art from this guy before, we're going to wet this layer and we're going to drip. Ooh, we're going to drip. I love dripping. I do love dripping. We're going to drip. It's going to be drippy. It's going to be drippy. All right. Maybe. I have the eraser on. Awesome. He says I should be doing this with my other hand. And the reason is that because that's the one that the right brain actually controls, which is where my images are coming from. Yes, you're right, I know. Drippy. Oh, there's darker now. And we're going to wet this sucker. Are you having fun? You guys are so quiet, which is fine because I have a lot of talk in my head right now. That one is going to go lighter. We're going to let it drip, but it's going to go lighter. Okay. Yeah, I get it. All right, one more. Down. No. Hi, Deborah. I'm glad you're fascinated. It's actually really crazy wild. So imagine having somebody move your hands around for you, and you try and say, wait, someone's trying to move my hands around. Should I really be letting them do that and then letting go? So it's great fun. And it is pretty amazing that I've actually never channeled this live, because I've been doing this for a long time. And only recently has it been art from the entity rather than trying to draw the entity itself, which I can do, but I think we're going to move into I'm going to say that one in a second. Astro. I forgot what I was saying. Moving into them making self-portraits, because, you know, I've got this whole Leonardo da Vinci frickin' thing in my head where everything's supposed to be, you know, you got to divide the face up and this and that, and not everybody sees themselves that way. That's just us telling ourselves this is the way art is supposed to be made. And I'm sorry, but we're just one planet out of billions and billions of planets. And it is literally like watching paint drip, because I have to wait. So, Astro Bartender wants to know, ask him if he'll come help me keep my plants alive. So, you can ask him to help you keep your plants alive. I will tell you that the way that I really started getting in touch with these guys is through plant gazing. And if you've ever plant gazed, it's wicked fun. So hi CD. So is that a sexual reference here? We have already been told that this is the shoot of a plant, not, it does look a lot like a male organ. And maybe, you know, we've got lots of those on Earth that do look similar. And females, since Georgia O'Keeffe did such a good job at that. So I learned to plant gaze, and while we're waiting for this to drip, look, I have a plant right here, and this is just coincidence. So here's a plant, and in here I have these little candles that you know, I tried it I tried it with real ones, but I set the plant on fire, and so I decided to get the fake ones. And so you put those in there. Hold on, I'll show you. And hang out in your living room or whatever, turn the lights out, but dark background if you can. And it's kind of a mixture of like Halloween and haunted house stuff and Christmas. I don't know, but here now I've got the plant and it's lit. Now you should put it up so that you can't really see the candles, but you can see that the plant is blinking. And so when I plant gaze, you start to recognize the different markings on the plant, and then you start to connect with the plant. And so as you're connecting with the plant, you're exchanging energy with the plant, and the plant's exchanging energy with you, and you kind of fall in love, right? Everyone is different. I have two of these. One's outside, it likes it better. That's the one I set on fire, so it needs some light. And it's actually this one's a little happier, just a little happier. So as I started to gaze at the plant, I started to connect with somebody who could read the plant and basically translate in between the two of us. I'm gonna put the plant down. And so what happened is, as I started to get used to the plant itself and the plant's energy, the plant got used to me, and we had a interloper in between helping us to communicate. After a while, you don't need the middleman anymore, but that middleman was our friend, the artist here. And if you really want to work with your plants, I really recommend that you spend some time staring at them. It is your intention going straight to, your energy going straight to that other living being, and that living being is going to transmit back to you, because your energy is always mixing together. Everyone that you meet, everywhere that you meet, your energy is always mixing together. Okay, so now that I just made that big brown thing, I'm supposed to do it again because it's not brown enough. So we're going to go back and I'm going to answer your question. Okay. It's dark. I really am trying to not go dark, and he's really trying to go dark, so I guess I'm just gonna give in because I make enough of my own damn art. Alright. We're gonna wet it. Hi! It's terrifying to me. We're gonna load up that paint. He's like, come on, woman. Don't be afraid to put paint down on the canvas. Is your headache better, CD? She said that I was giving her a headache, but... Oh, that's better. Okay, so I'm seeing that there's some kind of something going on here, but it's supposed to go all the way down, so we're going to have to keep loading. And we're going to water that sucker up again. Hi, other Courtney. There's so many. I love my Courtneys. Never met a Courtney I didn't love. Alright, we're doing it. It's terrifying to me because it's going against every single thing I've ever been taught in all the years I went to art school, which of course every artist ignores after they learn. We're doing it. But it doesn't go all the way down. And ha! Now, while we're waiting, we're dripping, we're dripping, we're dripping. So, as the plants get used to you, they start talking back to you and they tell you what they need. And honestly, the easiest way for me to start learning to talk to plants that are outside of my home was to I go walking up in the Hollywood Hills every day, and there are so many amazing plants and flowers there that I have to take pictures every day because I don't know what the hell they are, and they're just so magnificent. So I've been learning how to connect with them through that. There's succulents, and I do love my succulents. And what I've noticed with the succulents, we need water here, is that I had a thank a succulent day not too long ago, which every succulent I saw, I was like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. They're just amazing. And once I started thanking the succulents, they started showing up all over the place. They started showing up like little cuttings right in front of wherever I was walking. I found one right in front of my front door the other day. Right there in front of my front door. And I have this pot that some succulents died. And it was kind of empty, so I replanted them in my pot. Now this, I'm told, now that we've gone through all that, is too dark. There. Nope. There's more coming. There's something coming that's yellow, and I'm extremely hot right now. I know, not that kind, but you know, the other kind. All right, here we go. I'm told we're close to done, but there's something yellow and there's something red. This is going up top. We're going to move the layer up. And I'm going to close my eyes. And we're going to change the brush to something very linear. Go a little smaller. And the left hand. So, wish me luck. What's on top? Okay. Oh. Okay, it's... Oh, I see what it is. It's like a bloom. Oh, and it's dripping. I don't know if it's supposed to drip, but we're gonna keep going. Okay. It's yellow. I'm using my eyes because I really... Oh! I'm so glad you could share half of the conversation here with me, because this is sort of like... Stop. Sort of like, oh, hey, no, not there. No, move it over here. And I'm like, where is here? Where is here? And then I have to look at the whole image to see where here is. There's another... Okay. It still looks like a penis though, but now it looks like really something went wrong. I'm not quite sure that my humor is appreciated on that other side though. It's the reptilians, they always get such a bad rap. No wonder they don't have such a sense of humor as I would hope they would have. Oh, here. So I'm officially right-handed, but right now this left hand is doing all of the work. Autosave. Okay. What do you guys think? Is this like weird? I mean, duh, it's weird, but there's yellow that's gonna go over here on these spine things too. Is this like, I don't know. I'm not even sure that we have a right to criticize anybody's art. So this pink one here, not that pink one, this pink one, the spines, I'm going to label those spines. Spines, okay. All right, we've got yellow. We've got the left hand again. If my mother knew, she would be proud of me actually, because my mother was an oil painter, and but she was one of those really realistic oil painters. Like she toiled over light, and so my normal paintings do also toil over light. The light has to be perfect or I just can't sleep at night. And it's up here. She was kind of disappointed that I was the last child of 5, and she always wanted one of us to be a doctor. And so that was like, I was like the last chance, and I didn't do it. I can't really do guts. Like, I can't watch horror movies. You all know that. I can't watch any movies anymore, but oh, to see, this is really drying. Okay, I got scared. And so I couldn't be a doctor, so I thought I was going to be an engineer, because that's what the rest of my family does. And it was the most absolute boring 1 year of my life in college. I thought I was going to die. And so that's when we became, my sister and I, the engineer, became gemologists, and we fell in love with all the crystals. And that's when really shit started to happen for me, was when the rocks came in. When the rocks came in, even though I've always been in communication with extraterrestrials, that's when it started to be so synchronistic that I was like, all right, this might be a career or something here, because it's a little bigger than just hanging out with imaginary friends. This one's in the front. Hi. Okay. Thank you, Astro Bartender. She says, I think it looks cool, and I appreciate that. And I like the yellow in there. It's a little more something. But it looks like some of these pink things are going to get erased. Huh. It actually is pretty easy to draw with the left hand, believe it or not. I mean, at this level, which is 1 millimeter here and 1 millimeter there. All right. Okay, we are getting close to being done. Now, what happens after I do this is generally I'll import it into Photoshop, and if I have to change any layers, like this back one, to me it still seems like it's dark, and it just seems dark to me. So, that was a veto. All right. They have very sharp teeth. Not these things, but kind of like a snake. Like with the two larger ones. It seems like that. Although I haven't seen anybody smile. So it's kind of hard to see teeth when you don't see smile. And you know, in some cases, seeing teeth is not a good thing anyway. So, all right, we're going to do a little tiny bit of erasing here on the spines. And it's not a lot. It's only a little. And I'm a little scared. And this program is really cool because what happens is as you're over here doing something else, stuff's over here is like still dripping sometimes, and it totally changes. So it actually is like a continuous piece of art until I actually dry the whole thing. And that's kind of neat. That's why I like this program. This is going. Okay. This is going a little bit. I get it. There's a smudge coming. Ha! Okay, smudge. There's a smudge coming on this bottom layer right here. So down here, this is, I'm told it's too sharp. Now, smudging is risky here. Because it really can mess stuff up if you do it. But I guess it's not my art, so how can I tell if I'm really messing up? Oh, there. Okay. Whew. And CD, I do get a headache sometimes too, in the beginning. It does happen. It's pretty intense, and I don't know, you might have turned it off when you heard me say it hits you in the solar plexus too. It's such a strong energy, and I'm going to tell you guys, I've not told many people, I think I've told one of the Courtneys, that I have actually... And this stretches belief systems for people, so you can believe it or not, but I'm past that point of having to prove myself to anybody. My belief systems are strong enough that I was able to ask him one time to show up as what it would look like as a human. And I got it. And if you look at, there's a little bit of smudging here. If you look at Vasta's picture, it was similar, but not quite. He had the giant, like, high cheekbones, like he was wicked Russian. And, and he had blonde hair, and it was like shaven in the back, and he had it in a little like man bun looking thing. And he showed up and just stood outside and stared at me while I was in Starbucks. And if you think that's weird, get used to it, because it's not going to be all that long before we have extraterrestrials walking around our planet, literally walking around our planet. So if you have any fear-based issues with that, I recommend that before at least 5 years, I would say you might want to handle that, because it's not all that different from what you might see on Star Trek. Oh God, can you imagine going into a bar with all that shit? We don't want to get stuck. You're right. Thank you. Thank you. I was just answering soul mechanics. It is a given belief construct. Yes, you are right. It is. And everybody's got their constructs, and everybody's got their belief systems. And if you decide to go on the timeline that I am on, there will be extraterrestrials walking the earth. We'll say that, because you can choose otherwise, and that's totally cool. So with that said, it will totally, you're right, CD, it will be very much like Men in Black. And I do love that film. I did see that film, and the dog was a riot. But honestly, if you're going to choose a form, choose a form, right? We don't have to all be human. And if you want diversity and you want to integrate your world, you're going to have to integrate those that look different from you, whether you consider them extraterrestrials or you consider them plants or you consider them whatever. You're going to integrate with them in all forms. So we lucky humans who have gotten here to experience what it's like to be in the physical and be a divine being at the same time, we get to experience all the different forms, and we get to have those constructs where we believe that this is the one reality that there is. We're almost done here. We're almost done. There's a dark blue coming in, which is down here. Huh. I hope you guys can read the chat, because Soul Mechanic is always awesome about comments. Always a good opinion about, oh, there it is, about what reality really is, because it's different for every single person. That's the whole idea, is that it's different for every person. All right, so I'm gonna, this one's bold and a little tiny bit scary for me. Again, because I want to correct this guy's hand. It's dark. Oh, it's scary. Okay, almost done here. A little bit of eraser right here. Ah. Okay. And sure, Soul Mechanics, I will do art for your event. I always do art. I can't live without art. This one needs to be moved. Okay, so I made it a little too big. So let's see if I can remember how to do this. We got to edit. Yeah. Yes. There. Now I gotta erase a little more. That. Okay. Okay, a little bit of erasing. Okay. Let me just look over and ask one more time. What do you guys think? I think we might be done. I'm getting a little bit of crook in my neck, like, okay, Kimberly, go back to being human for a little while. Oh, this has got to go. Hold on. It's got to be erased a little bit. Maybe. There. Nope. Okay, well, we're getting to the end of this one, and I truly appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to do this. I've been told I'm going to do this more often, and you don't always have to show up on every single one, but I love you all anyway. And I am going to let this dry, and then I will import it into Photoshop, and I am going to erase one drip, if I can find it. Huh. There, I'm going to erase one drip. Okay, it goes up there. All right, you guys. Thank you. I'm glad that you like it, Soul Mechanics. It is, I have to take credit, and I don't know how to take credit because it's credit, but it's not credit. Like, I'm just the conduit, but who do I give credit to? So I do sign them at the end when I get it into Photoshop, but it's really not officially my art. So I don't know what to do. Anyway, I love you all, and I am going to sign off for tonight, and I believe that I am going to be back on Thursday. So if you're interested, feel free to come visit then. I'll put up another little window to let you know. And I've also been working with the tall whites, and they're really, I'm really tall. I'm talking 8.5 feet tall, the last one I saw. And there are some female energies there that have asked to make some art, and it's very different. It's like floaty, light, cloudy, mushroomy stuff. So I think that maybe on Thursday I'm gonna go ahead and try that. All right, well, I love you all, and don't forget, always be yourself all the time. Mwah.